Describe the history of social psychology. Let's now look at a brief evolution of social psychology over the decades. Social psychology experiments to study group behavior were being conducted in as early as before the year 1900. These experiments were conducted to logically, scientifically, and systematically measure and record feelings, behaviors, attributes, thoughts, patterns, and attitudes of social behavior among human beings. By the year 1908, the first social psychology textbooks were published. These include several books written on an introduction to social psychology, which outlines the principles which govern the field of social psychology. The social psychologists Kurt Lewin and Leon Festinger helped establish social psychology as a strictly scientific discipline and developed the need for experimentation and its approaches to studying behavior during the years 1940 to the 1950s. Lewin is also known as the father of social psychology, as he was responsible for developing several important ideas on social psychology on the dynamic interactions among groups. During the Second World War, social psychologists tried to analyze and understand how Adolf Hitler was able to produce such massive and large-scale impact and gather obedience from masses to create such horrors on other people of their same species or humans. By the year 1954, social psychologists started to greatly focus on laboratory experiments to test their theories and hypotheses on social and group behavior, and to use such experiments to measure variables to get results based on conclusive data. In the 1960s, Philip Zimbardo conducted his well-known prison experiment in which simulated a prison environment. He then placed normal college-going male students playing the role of guards and prisoners in this simulated prison. This experiment was aimed at understanding the interpersonal and group dynamics that go on in a prison. Zimbardo found that the students got so involved in the prison setting that they became extremely violent, and the study had to be terminated prematurely. This prison experiment conducted by Zimbardo portrayed the powerful role of the social situation on human behavior. During the 1970s, social psychologists such as Stanley Milgram and others started focusing their studies on the psychology of social norms, on obedience to authority, how people create authority and obedience, and the relevance of agreeing to peer pressures in social groups, and how people can harm others under peer or leader pressure. During the late 1970s, social psychology started to expand its horizon to study other lateral topics, such as on reacting to emergencies in a social situation, the bystander interaction in a group during an emergency, situations and reasons that cause people to either help or not help others in need, etc. Towards the end of the 20th century, social psychologists started to get interested in the field of studying attitudes, including cognitive or thinking processes. This led to the development of proper models of persuasion, how advertisers can use these persuasion models to influence the public, and to make the most effective use of social psychology in fields such as health, cultures, and neuroscience. Let me ask you a question. Who is known as the father of social psychology? Is it Kurt Lewin, Leon Festinger, Sigmund Freud, or Stanley Milgram? What do social psychologists study? The following are some of the aspects that fall under the purview of social psychologists. What is the impact of society and the people surrounding an individual on the individual themselves? How the individual's behaviors, thoughts, and feelings impact the society due to change in their mindset as a result of the people around them. Why are some people more inclined to help others while some are not? Why do some people tend to turn against society and may be harmful to others around them? What are the benefits of having great connections with people around you? What is the effect on an individual's skills and characteristics by staying disconnected with the people around them? How social psychology can impact a person's buying behavior and why a person may choose one brand over the other. What are the lateral impacts of social psychology on other streams, such as advertising, sales, marketing, organizational behavior, etc.? How a person may remain detached and retain their diversity in spite of being a part of a group setting. What may lead people to commit mass crimes or even mass suicides under the influence of a group? Did you know, during any meeting, interview, or while talking to someone, start and end your conversation with a bang? This is because people always remember the first and last impression you make on them.